And I am pleased to be joined by Joe and Will from Blight Town.
Hey,
Hello.
how's it going?
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, very good. Enjoying a nice
Good.
tea.
Yeah,
Possible.
that's the second interview in a row with a cup of tea starting the conversation. Is it oat milk or normal milk this time?
It's oat again.
Oat milk, yeah.
Is it oat? Yeah, last week was oat milk as well. Maybe it's the band's trend. I don't know. So for anyone unfamiliar, tell us a little bit about Blight Town.
Yeah, so we're sort of a math rock post-hardcore 5-piece. We're from Nottingham, and yeah, we're sort of for fans of like I don't know, Dance Gavin Dance, Deftones.
People say Hail the Sun.
Hail the Sun, yeah.
There's another one, but I can't remember it.
Sometimes Delta Sleep we get a little bit of as well. I can hear that a little bit. So if you like kind of mathy, heavy, not quite metal, not quite math rock stuff, we're probably up your alley. So yeah.
Right there in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I first found you guys in 2021. I reviewed your self-titled EP for Music Matters, which is really cool because I obviously got loads of reviews that I had to do, but like something about you guys just stood out to me straight away. It's just like I think the first song is just like it's just like straight into it, isn't it? It's such a like huge sound to it. I even remember the opening line of the EP as well. The opening lyrics were "You need to listen to us right now," and I'm like, yeah, okay, I get that. That's cool.
It's cool that you noticed that because that was kind of intentional. Of like, what
was it?
First line we could say to open.
Yeah,
like,
and it's your debut EP as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Appreciate that review as well, man. That was good.
Yeah, thanks, dude. Yeah, like I said, I got sent loads of music to review, and like some of it's good, but not really up my thing. But like when your one just stood out to me straight away, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, like the couple of like beats, I'm just like, yeah, okay, this is cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. So obviously you said that you're a little bit like Dance Gavin Dance, things like that. What sort of influences do you have? I mean, Dance Gavin Dance is a very obvious one. Like I say, I think I'd only just started listening to them like around the time just before your EP came out, so you hit me right at the perfect sweet spot.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
But is there anyone else that you sort of take from?
Yeah, we do get a lot of Dance Gavin Dance, don't we? That's the main one. But I think it would all slightly vary depending on who you asked in the band, and I think we try and like mesh those together because like
that's a perfect way to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, right. Like take little bits from here and there. Like I'd say my favorite band was probably like Terra Melos.
Okay.
And he uses a lot of effects pedals, the guy from that, and I kind of get that inspiration from that. But I don't think we sound much like them, but that's probably my favorite band. A lot of Deftones as well.
Yeah, I think the things with influences is it might be like the tiny little things like in the background that you might not pick up on. Like obviously I'm in a couple of bands, and it might be things that like there'll be like a couple of notes that you play here that you're just like, oh, that's very like Dance Gavin Dance or whatever, and it's just like although people might not pick up on it as being like a sound, you still got that influence, and that just changes your whole sound.
Yeah, definitely. It's like adding a little spice or flavor to it.
And there are a couple of things that I think we all share, like artists that have blown up maybe in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
The one that comes to mind is like Loathe, where it's just like, at least everyone agrees like they're doing something like insane, and that's very inspiring, to make music.
Yeah. Definitely a big one they are as well. I think any of the heavier stuff that we do, we try and keep that kind of melodic-y thing that they do with it as well. I mean, obviously it's not exactly the same, but they're definitely a big influence on all of us.
I mean, like Late of the Pit, and we saw Tricot, and they were insane.
They were really good, yeah. And they're kind of like more clean math rock, I guess, than we are. But like you were saying, you can take little flavors and spices from everything and kind of incorporate it into what you do. So yeah.
Like it's the whole like screaming and clean vocals thing is one thing that like I used to listen to a lot of more screamy stuff, and I sort of like now I'm more like I like screaming, but I like when it sort of blends really well with the clean vocals, which like Dance Gavin Dance and you guys you do so perfectly. Like it just they sort of flow into each other and they cross over, and it just all sounds like just it all goes together so sweetly.
Awesome, that's great. Yeah, I think it's better when you have little bits of screaming and stuff like that. And it hits harder when you do get it, like you say.
Absolutely.
Jake is good.
Especially in this new in the new song as well. I know there's one bit where you got clean vocals, and then all of a sudden it just all the music cuts, and you just got that one bit. I'm just that bit is just like, oh yeah, that's just lovely, isn't it?
Legend, man. Yeah.
Well, we are obviously here to talk about that new single. So, how has the release gone so far? It's been out a couple of weeks now, isn't it?
Yeah, really well.
Pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, obviously, with Alex Holcomb playing it on Radio 1, that was amazing. And we were jumping around the kitchen, like, can't believe this. This is brilliant. And she had some kind words to say. So that really helped us out, actually. Obviously, that was really cool. And we did the release show at the Hope and Anchor in Islington.
Yeah.
And that was a really good night as well. And I think it's going down well. I think because it is such a short song and it's kind of just like bang in your face and it's gone.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's 2:25, I think, isn't it? So it's very like straight to the point. And
yeah, we thought like a different tactic because the last one we did was Swerve, which was like a 4-minute kind of mid-tempo song.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd mix it up and put like one that just kind of hits you and is gone before you know it, sort of thing, to mix it up. And it was a bit of we were like, we don't really know how it's going to be received, but it's. Yeah. I think it's good, right? Yeah,
I like it.
Thanks, man.
So obviously you said that you went for that with this idea. Is it a case of because I know they're obviously all lead into your next EP, which is coming out 18th of November.
Yeah.
Is it sort of a case of just writing the songs and then putting them in the EP, or have you sort of tried to fit everything together in a way?
They fell together in a nice way.
Yeah.
There's somewhat deliberate decisions. Like we had, I think it was a couple of songs that we were shooting out before we ended up recording. But what we've ended up with is, I think, a really nice contrast of poppy, fast, technical, but also, kind of chilling parts.
Yeah.
Whereas I think we could have made some mistakes and, been too one note with this EP. It's very much more varied than at least the first EP.
Definitely, it's definitely different to the first one as well. It's like the first one was more just kind of like bang, to show that, I guess, that more kind of in your face side, and
like
then
a jump onto the scene sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then this one, there's actually like a quite poppy song on there, and there's some other bits that you probably wouldn't have heard from us. Yeah, reggae song, but not quite. But like definitely, I think expanding on getting even more chill in the chill parts and getting even more like heavy in the heavy parts.
I suppose that helps them stand out more as well then, doesn't it? That you sort of got those big contrasts.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Excellent. So obviously first thing I noticed about it is the name. So obviously algorithm, I see a little smile coming up there. So what is the story behind it? So obviously before this interview I'm like, I've got to Google this just in case like there's some like obvious thing I've not missed. And obviously the fountain of all knowledge, Urban Dictionary. It said, when your voice recognition software misinterprets algorithms.
Oh.
So there you go. Is that anything related, or is it just completely random?
I think it's basically just like a play on words of the word algorithm. I guess I can't remember how we even thought of it.
We played it in a practice room.
Yeah.
And Jake said, "Can we call the song Gore Rhythm?"
Is that what it was?
That was what happened.
I mean, we're kind of funny with song titles. Like I think some bands take themselves too seriously with song titles. I'm not if that's what they want to do, but for us, we couldn't kind of like.
It all depends on the style and everything as well, doesn't it?
Exactly. Like, but for us, it's like it doesn't make sense to have like really serious titles. So one of them as well was like the guy that we record with, Miroslav Boris. He named it. He always gives them silly names when he sends us the mixes back, and we were just like, oh, let's just keep that name. So one of the upcoming titles. I don't know if I'm allowed to say or not, so I won't just in case. But he literally named it as a joke, and we were like, "Oh, by the way, we're keeping that." So that's what the song's called. So
perfect.
Yeah, he's got Latin code probably now, hasn't he? Yeah.
Oh, is that another single that's coming out before the EP launch, or?
This is a possibility. We're not sure. Yeah, we're kind of teasing the idea at the minute.
Yeah.
So it all depends on the reaction that we're getting from Al Gore, really. I think.
Yeah.
And then if that's we're getting this good reaction that we are at the minute, we probably will do that, I would imagine, but not guarantees, but we'd like to. That would be cool.
I know a lot of bands sort of like just before they release the EP or whatever, they're just like, oh, here's a single like a week early or something like that. So.
Yeah, we're thinking about doing a similar thing, I think. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled because it's quite likely to happen. So that'd be cool.
Well, obviously with this EP as well, it's 2021 was when your last one came out, so it's been quite a quick turnaround compared to the last one, which I think the first single came out 2019, wasn't it? Was that all sort of like COVID just holding you back, or was it sort of a slow progression, or?
Yeah, I mean, it was a couple of things. Like one was that we actually recorded Jejunum before Joe joined the band.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we recorded Jejunum, and then we recruited Joe after that, and then he kind of learned the songs and everything. Then we went back to the studio and did the rest of the recordings all together, kind of thing.
Right. Okay.
So Jejunum was recorded like a year before, but everything else was kind of done within 2020, 2021, sort of close
okay.
So there was a lot of work done, I guess, for like writing the parts collaboratively, then recording them.
Yeah.
Whereas with these, 4 songs, I was in the flow,
Yeah.
I knew how to play drums by then, so we just
Yeah, and we'd already been doing stuff for like a year and a half, whatever.
Yeah.
So it was like
you're already in the right frame of mind.
Yeah, exactly. And we knew kind of what we wanted to do with this one, and kind of say, right, let's experiment with this more poppy, funky thing and see what happens, and if people respond to it. So hopefully they will. But yeah.
Well, obviously the big question with this EP coming out then is there any sort of tour plans or any big dates? Obviously you had the EP launch in London, didn't you? Because obviously you usually play Nottingham most of your dates. Is there any plans around that, or is it just a case of doing it locally, a couple of like London shows? Or
we do have some plans, but I don't know. Are we allowed to?
We've got some top secret plans.
Top secret plans. There is definitely going to be some form of tour stuff happening, I would imagine. Yeah.
You can disclose that we have a release show at Rough Trade Nottingham.
Yeah.
The day after that drops.
That's right, 19th.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a free show as well. So like, it's literally just, is it Saturday night? A Saturday night free show in Nottingham City Centre. So a good one to come see us at. We'll probably be doing like a longer set with all of our material as well, some unreleased songs and stuff like that.
Cool.
So yeah, it'd be worth popping down for that. And then there's a band that we're very good mates with that there might be some plans in the pipeline with, but I think I'll probably get a slap on the wrist if I tell you exactly who and when it is. So
fair enough. Well, hopefully that suggests there's something in the works, so that's good, because I know I think Matt put you on a show up in Nottingham like last year or something, and I was sort of like, he was like, oh yeah, you should come up. I'm like, oh, I do want to. It was like a 3.5 hour drive on a Wednesday. I'm like,
God, yeah.
Like, I don't know if I can get the time off work, and so I was looking at the map. I was like, if I managed to get a half day, I could maybe get there, but it didn't work out in the end, unfortunately.
You're in London, right? Are you in London?
Bristol.
Okay.
Yeah.
We probably will be around there, I would imagine.
Yeah, we'd love to play Bristol.
Yeah, Bristol is a cool place. I think there's there's a good music scene down in Bristol. So
sure, yeah,
as long as you come down here, there should be a good crowd, I'd have thought. That's good. But I'm driving to other places anyway. I mean, I'm going to a gig in London next week for like a band's debut show. So
nice.
Just go to any shows. That's all good fun, isn't it? So, but yeah, I think like if it's within like a 2-hour drive, I'm like, yeah, why not? Let's go for it. It's not too bad. It's reasonable, but hopefully, Bristol will be cool. Or even if you guys are playing Birmingham or something, then that's not too far from me. So I should hopefully be up there. So I look forward to hopefully seeing some plans for that soon. Then.
Definitely, that's awesome, man.
Yeah. Well, what are your plans after the EP then? Obviously, you said there are some top secret plans of that. Have you got any sort of are you just going to be straight on writing new music? Have you got any plans for an album, or just see what happens?
I think
obviously with the last EP you finished into this EP, and like you just kept writing. Obviously, things coming, like things flowing. Do you think it's just to see what happens?
I think we will be writing, won't we? I think.
Yeah, we're always gonna try and keep writing, otherwise, our heads will explode.
Yeah, it's like a compulsion at this point.
So it'll be getting some cool new music out, I guess.
Yeah, probably another maybe EP or something. But nothing. I mean, obviously, we'd love to do an album, but we want to do that justice as well. So it might be worth waiting to see if we can do an album, in a more kind of do it right, grandiose, do it right way, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously nowadays a lot of what you're getting is the traction from like the singles and things like that, isn't it? So sometimes it's like as much as it's really nice to release an album, it's things like the EPs and singles seem to be working really well at the moment, don't they? So I mean, obviously see how this EP gets on, basically.
This is it,
See where you go from there.
It might kind of dictate what we do with our style as well, I think, a little bit. I'm not necessarily, but like
it's kind of ended up like a weird experiment, hasn't it? With the EP. You can even tell in these 2 singles, like it's like, you know, which one is more popular is going to decide which band we become.
Yeah, because
no,
that's so true, because like Al Gore is very like, how, you know, in your face, kind of like one of the most we've done, and I think potentially the next one is probably the poppiest one we've done. So it'll be an interesting thing to see if the same people that like that will really enjoy the other one. Or Swerve is quite, I'd say quite poppy. Yeah, that's what we called our indie song.
Right.
And everyone, when they like that one, we used to play it at the end of the set, would be like, what was the indie song at the end? And it's like, alright, so, you know. Yeah, we didn't know.
I suppose it's going to be like you said, it's going to be a good EP for sort of, you've already sort of kick-started your sound with your first EP, and now you're sort of like just sort of finalizing it, sort of thing, just to really push on from there. So that's some exciting times ahead.
Nice. Yeah. Should be, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, yeah, thanks so much, guys, for coming on the show. Obviously, congratulations with the release, and can't wait to see the EP on the 18th of November, isn't it?
Right.
It lives. Right, I've made all my notes. I know what I'm doing.
You know it all, man. I think you reminded us when it's coming out, to be honest.
Well, we are obviously going to play your latest single now, so if one of you wants it, or both of you, whatever, wants to go ahead and introduce it.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. This
is Gore Rhythm. We're Blight Town.
Thanks.
Peace, thanks.
Yeah, that was